My name is Jair. I work in Incentro. I'm here because I'm planning to do an Xterra, a triathlon. I had a pretty interesting journey in all facets of my life, from living in Colombia to living in the United States to joining the military to now working in a tech company. When I was about almost 18, close to graduating, I was already training for the SEAL. So I was, doing a lot of swimming, a lot of running, a lot of calisthenic type of exercises. But there was one problem. I have bad eyes. So that disqualified me for it. So I decided to go to the Navy as an operations specialist. I haven't experienced that civilian side as much because I went to the Navy straight from high school. But one night, I guess I met the one, you could say. I was applying to different jobs when I first got to the Netherlands, of course. And I really saw that Incentro seems to be a nice place to work. The more you grow, the more you realize how time is in a premium. That's why you have to dedicate that time in doing things that are worth doing. I'm a guy who likes adventures, who likes athletic events, who likes challenges, and who loves technology. I think that's one of the reasons that I work for Incentro. So a triathlon of combining all those things was a very interesting concept, a challenge. Since I was a kid, I'd always been into different sports, especially swimming sports. I love swimming. So I started with swimming, then I went to water polo, actually underwater hockey. Then I did wrestling, then after wrestling, always in something. Then after wrestling, I went back to underwater hockey. So then I started looking into how to improve, how to get better, and in what. So I decided to try something like triathlon. Swimming, biking, and running. I already did one before, a sprint triathlon. It was 400-meter swim, 20 kilometers bike, and 5K run. I already had my background in swimming. I had some background in running. My weakness was always the bike. I remember in that period, I was in my first big project with Incentro, and it was a lot of hours that I was putting extra to get ahead and try to get up to speed in the project, and I still did the training. I wanted to be in my best capabilities with the time that I had. Discipline. That's why. If it was easy, what would be the challenge? All that is making you grow stronger and stronger. So once you've done something like this, is what's next? I did a normal triathlon, why not try an Xterra? An Xterra tends to be a little bit more extreme. Open water swimming, more instead of road biking, you do mountain biking. Instead of running on the road, you do trail runs on the forest. So that is the difference. You have to adapt your training similar to it. It's not something that, oh no, I have to learn about this. No, I'm like, I love doing this. I'm like looking at it and researching it and asking questions on how to do it better, and then I can experiment with myself. What better is that? Yeah, you have to sacrifice time to what you want to achieve. And yeah, those are the moments that you remember the most. Right now, I'm in the stage of base training, establishing a base to know where I am.
At the tone, please record your message.
Training is going well, especially my running and my swimming. Swim about 2.5 kilometers. Just finished with the run. Florida heat is no joke. Different than Holland for sure. But found a group of triathletes. These guys are going hard. They're all training for Ironmans. So I feel like I have to keep up. I want to see how I can perform the best that I can perform. Looking at all sides of things, breaking things down from the nutritional aspect to establishing by base fitness to different techniques. How to be able to manage my heart rate that is not through the roof redlining the whole time, and how I can keep it low so I can perform better. Slow pace, slow heart rate, building the aerobic engine, run. So you have to let your body, your physiological parts of your body adapt. Your ligaments have to adapt, your knees have to adapt, your muscles have to adapt, your mentality have to adapt. So this means that for me, for example, I have to spend at least 60% of my week training on the bikes.
Right now, I want to see if I can rent a mountain bike because I need to be mountain biking in trails, and I don't have a mountain bike here. So I've been doing a lot of road biking and spinning classes. Yeah, I've been with the spinning ladies and
These last couple of days are mostly gonna be some exercise, but it's mostly preparation for the flight, dude. Time is coming really quick. I need some going back home and settling again and doing my routine and everything. That's always nice, you know. We should not be afraid to fail. And I wish I could tell this to myself, my younger self, that don't be scared to fail. The most rewarding part is looking back and how much I have grown from what I started. A lot of times you'll see things that you don't expect to happen. I never met a Dutch person before in my life either. And then I saw her, JJ. I think that we just belong together, and no matter where we were gonna be okay. Moving to a new place, it was a dramatic change, but I saw it as an opportunity to see something new and to be with the loved one, no matter what place it was.
Ja, op het startschot ga je hier dus het water in en je zwemt naar die groene paal, zeg maar. En daarnaast ligt een oranje, daar ga je omheen. En dan zwem je weer door de haven, helemaal aan die kant, tussen de bootjes door. En je komt dan daar Dan kom je de trailerhelling, daar kom je het water weer uit.
You know, it's all about feeling good, mentally and physically. And then that's something that you don't think about as much, is how much exercise relaxes your mind. Once I feel like my life is stagnant and it's not moving anywhere, that means there is a new challenge that needs to be taken, a new goal that I need to have, a new change.
Well, I will see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for all this. Really appreciate it.
Succes met de voorbereiding.
You remember that you gave it your all by the time you get there. Doesn't matter the outcome, you know you did the best as you could. It's gonna be beautiful. The start of the triathlon is crazy. It's a bunch of people starting at the same time, you can imagine. So at first, everybody's nervous. Everybody's moving around, stretching, and looking at each other. So during that time, mentally, I'm probably gonna be, am I warm enough? How the shock is gonna be? How fast do I have to start so I can spread from the pack, from the big pack, and I can just do my own race? Because at first it's crazy. You have to basically swim like this because there's people kicking you, going over you, because everybody starts together and everybody wants to start fast. So it's a crazy part of the triathlon. And then after the first 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you start making a little more space, everybody starts spreading out, you start getting into your tempo, you start warming up. That's when training comes into account, to knowing your body, how it feels. But adrenaline is gonna be going faster. It always goes faster in a competition than during training. Coming out of the water, your heart rate is through the roof because you're super accelerated and you're trying to get dressed as fast as possible. A lot of people train the changing because it's very important. Some people take a minute, some people take 10 seconds. It's crazy. You start looking around to see how many people are in front, how many people are behind. And if somebody passes you and is almost at your same pace, you try to see if you can match up with that pace. It can be a little bit disheartening when you see dudes passing you by on the bike. I remember that on my first triathlon. I'm like, why am I so slow? How are they so fast? Well, they train a lot more for the bike, and then they have monster bikes too. Some of them have just 9,000s, 10,000 bikes that are gonna pass you. So while you're biking, you're checking out the competition. You don't wanna get passed by everybody because then all that effort on your swim, then all that effort is for nothing because everybody starts passing you on the bike. And I think the bike section is actually the most important section because it's the longest part of the triathlon. Now you have to focus on getting those legs accustomed to the pounding that they're gonna get on the running. you're trying to measure how hard you can push yourself, and you're always gonna be able to push yourself a little bit harder in competition. And because you have all those hormones pushing through, and there gets one point that pain is only pain, or tiredness is only tiredness. You just have to keep pushing. I want a red line, but at the end, when I'm sprinting. Months of preparation and training, months of learning for this single moment. That's the end. It's the pinnacle of the preparation for a couple months. That was the goal. Once I pass that, I have accomplished my goal.